used to take that, so they. Oh.
Two people.
Can you hear us now?
They can hear us now. We can recap some of this. So the question is just about our paving budget and what our flexibility is. We have a $400,000 paving budget proposed for July 1. We have bids for this paving season. And that's actually on our agenda to approve a work plan for 2026. And then the goal would be to, in the fall, assess the conditions of the roads to make sure we know what really should be addressed from a condition standpoint for 2027. And bid out early in the year and try to lock pricing in January and February. And then when we see what that pricing is, put the budget together for next year accordingly. If the price is really, really good, then we can always, the way we bid this, we can always add on. So if the pricing really came back competitive, and we knew that in February, and the unit pricing was low, we could add on, another 100,000 to take advantage of that. So it's really, I think the key to it is just bidding early versus bidding late. I think that's really the key to taking advantage of opportunities.
So putting that in the following budget, not necessarily borrowing to pay it back.
Correct.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that.
In worst case scenario, I mean, there is a way to do it. It would just be a little bit unorthodox to borrow from the fund balance.
Then you basically,
If you
just doing like a supplemental budget
Right.
ordinance that would, utilize some
Right.
of that. It wouldn't really be a loan, it would just be utilizing some of it. And that
This
would
year we spent 400,000 out of the fund balance, so we spent 500,000,
Right,
right? It's still your money. You're still spending, not taking a loan from anyone but ourselves.
right.
It's that savings
And
account.
we're not taxing people anymore. or
Right.
less or
Right,
anything like
and
that.
the way I look at it is like, it's just taking advantage of a situation, right? Not necessarily a strategic, long-term plan to do that, but short-term. Bounce sometimes, right? You can, but. Anyway,
Yeah.
just more of a theoretical question, not necessarily anything
And the
that I
point is,
see happening, but.
right,
Some things are happening lately with price of oil and things are getting a little more exciting for us that way, so.
right. Just
Do that way.
being able to have the flexibility to take advantage of
I agree.
situations.
Good evening.
Welcome.
I apologize for my tardiness.
Uh, yeah,
Job that pays called.
Living.
And because we didn't have audio online,
Yeah.
and we had a couple people, I'll recap a couple of earlier points. As far as the budget process, as a whole, from the current year to the new year that we have in front of us, we're doing we're less on the expenditure side because we don't have some of the capital projects that we had last year. We don't have the two bridge projects, Sebasco Street and Crawford Road that we have in the current budget. And then we don't have the same reval costs that we have in the current budget. So on the expenditure side, we're lower, but also on the revenue side, we're lower as well. We don't have as much on the revenue side to offset. So our process right from the beginning has been to try to balance both out so that we could come as close to, and in our case, to a zero increase on the municipal side of the budget by, cutting some of the expenditures. And just kind of going through, each budget and looking at, where we've been year to date and things like that. And then also looking on the revenue side, we have some economic development funds that we're able to utilize that helped us on the revenue side. So we were able to do some important things in terms of increasing the amount that we've provided for road paving for 2026, 2027. We also have some equipment replacement for public works that we're able to do through financing, lease purchasing, new plow truck, backup sidewalk machine. So we've, like I said earlier, we really worked hard in this process, and I think we have a responsible budget and a budget that's, providing for what we're gonna need and within the constraints that we've, that we have this year. financially, and so. A lot of hard work has gone on to it, and I just want to thank the work the staff has put into trying to help us get to the finish line.
Great, thank you, Jack. Are there any other questions from the council regarding ordinance 2605? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, close, since we're ready to close ordinance 2605. All those in favor of closing ordinance 2605 from public hearing, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, ordinance 2605 has been closed to public hearing. I think I did that backwards last time. All right, moving on to town manager's report.
So something we've talked about a few months ago and finally coming to a conclusion, I refer to it as the Peltoma power line. The town's owns a section of power line, basically from the transfer station to the pump station for the water system, at the town line. And that has been, our responsibility for any maintenance and upgrades. And we had an opportunity to have CMP actually assume ownership and assume those responsibilities. We had to do tree trimming and fix one guy wire, and there's a fee that we have to pay when we turn it over, which we've seen. And all of that is wrapping up. The tree trimming was finished today, I believe. CMP was supposed to be out there to take a look at it and let us know if there was any additional that they needed to meet their spec, but that should be all good. And we have the guy wire repair lined up, so I feel like within the next few weeks, we ought to be able to see this transition take place back over to CMP. And it's very beneficial that the town do this, because we didn't have to upgrade the poles, we didn't have to upgrade the actual lines. And if CMP did an upgrade in the part that we are tied to, then we would have to be the same spec as their upgrade, which would be probably cost prohibitive for us to try to upgrade over a mile of line to a new spec that they would give us. So this is coming out very beneficial for us. I wanted to mention the downtown committee that we appointed a couple of meetings ago, met yesterday with our consultant from KV Cog, and that was a very good meeting, very thoughtful, a lot of feedback from committee members to the consultant, and laid out a good timeline and the ways that we're gonna engage the public, surveys and some different things, try to get people's ideas and visions for what the downtown area might look like going forward. Honeywell sewer upgrade project, they had a construction meeting, pre-construction meeting today. And we have a tentative timeline for that project, mid-July to end of September. Could spill to, around the 1st of August, could spill a little bit into October, but we want to try to stay in that window as close as we can. Been hearing from the rail, CSX rail. They're doing some upgrades to their tracks, and they're in Fairfield right now, doing some upgrades, and they're slowly making their way to Pittsfield. And when they're here, then each of the crossings is going to be closed for a 4 to 5 hour stretch, and they're going to be upgrading rails, and they'll try to be as expeditious as they can, but they don't have a hard, time frame to be here. And it's based on the progress of the work. It seems like it's at least a few weeks away, if not more. But I'm trying to get as much lead time from them as they get closer to, so we can just let everybody know that there's going to be some traffic disruptions the day or two that they're here doing those upgrades.
Did they give you a point, so you have a point of contact with them? Can you ask or talk to them about making a better crossing for the snowmobile and ATV trip? Because we talked about that a long time ago, we didn't really have the right people to pull the great names in. But something like not down by, cause you did all that work down by the old train station and the gazebo, and all the. What's that train called, but it's. That
Yeah,
car,
caboose, yeah.
right around there, instead of going all the way down into town, they could cut something a little bit further up, so you're not driving through all those pillars and. Crossing was different.
Okay.
Pete had a vision of that a long time ago and just never really could make it, never really made it happen.
I don't think you can do that because there's no crossing, right?
There's not now, that's what I'm saying, if they're in town doing crossings, I wonder if they could add a crossing or at least. Put it on a dock of some sort to do it.
Yeah. I remember there was some chatter about that before, but they wouldn't do it because then you've gotta have the drops and the lights and all of that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even if it's a separate from the,
Cause if it's not right with the crossing that's there, you're
yeah,
saying, like put it down
Yeah,
beyond the
down
caboose a
there.
little ways,
Yeah.
yeah. They'd have to put another whole crossing in. That whole thing, I think, was already, that was the reason.
Hmm.
Yeah. For the safety of, cause if you just drive over it.
right,
There's no lights to indicate that there's a train coming. That was kind of their whole thing.
it's no different than.
Do you remember that?
The State Road and Webb Road, remember,
Stater Road, Webb Road,
Yeah,
But you remember, they're permitting to do speeds of 45 miles an hour, so this is part of the reason they're doing the upgrades, they've got,
Oh, yeah.
so they're not gonna be going slow, so.
Okay.
And that's one of the things why they talked about actually having lighted markings and stuff, if you were, even if it's an ATV or snowmobile, because. There's not gonna be much warning, when they're gonna hit those signals, something's gonna come down, because they're gonna be coming.
There is a reduced speed though, when they get in within city lines, I
I
think.
think.
It's not their full rail speed.
I think it's 55 to 35 or something, but they're gonna try to do 45.
Yeah.
Median speed,
Yeah.
to get where they need to go.
Yeah. I think from their standpoint, it was about having more lights and all that. Yeah.
or conversation maybe.
Yeah.
You can put it, just ask them.
what is that?
Yeah.
Make them say no.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention, you may have seen a few, small little 8-inch by 12-inch signs. Something that was kind of going on during the bicentennial, stuff a few years ago was, creating these, signs of historic sites around Pittsfield. And there were a number of sites that were developed digitally with a like QR code, so you could be walking down the sidewalk and, see a picture of, Pioneer Dam and do a QR code and then get the history on it, stuff like that. And so, this. I'd kind of asked some people about if that had ever been an interest in, like, we're kind of come along, quite a ways, and so that got some conversation started, so one of the volunteers that originally with that effort, kind of brought that back, and he was able to secure, donations to have, I think over 15 signs made up of these sites around town. Bill Cunningham is the one that's really, taken the lead on this and secured the donations to have the signs made up. And actually, we have one right on the front side of this building, that's kind of marking, Union Hall, which is former, municipal building. But we have these, one for the library, one for Hawthorne, Stein, Fenler, Manson, the Depot. And I think that, Bangor Savings has been approached by having one that would show feature the Lancy block down there, so. Those will be slowly coming up, a few of them are already up, and, kind of a nice. Project to see, finally, get across the finish line for that, so. I think they did a nice job with it. That's it.
Awesome, thank you, Jack. There are department head reports in the council package, so everybody can review those. Are there any questions on the reports from anybody? All right, moving on to item number 9, new business. Nicole, can you please read resolution 2635?
Resolved that the town council adopt ordinance 2604.
Look for a motion from the council.
make a motion, we adopt resolution
35.
2635.
What?
Ordinance 2604.
Yes, this is
Oh,
a resolution number.
Yeah, resolution, yeah, sorry. Oh, four.
So, no, I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2635.
Right.
You're right, yeah, okay.
Second. Yes, it's moved and seconded. Are there any questions from the council or the audience? Hearing none, and since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2635, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2635 passes. Moving on to resolution 2636, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council adopt ordinance 2605.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2636.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions from the audience or the council regarding resolution 2636? Hearing none, and since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2636, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2636 passes. Moving on to resolution 2637, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council accept the bid from Blank for timber harvesting on the town farm lot, Pelton Avenue.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2637.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Jack, do you want to speak to this?
Yeah, I think everybody should have copies of all the bids that we received for the timber harvest. John is here to talk about what he saw in the bids and what he knows about the the contractors that bid and so forth, and I'm very impressed with how much response we got and how much interest there was in the project. We had over 10 bidders.
13, yeah.
13, yeah.
That's a lot of bids.
Yep.
Wow.
That was so, yeah, I'll give you guys some background. I'll try not to take too much time, but since we've last met, I've been out. Formally marked all the trees for harvest. I striped full circumference of the tree in blue paint. So the trees that are painted blue are marked for harvest. The trees that are not painted blue are designated to stay. And it's the logger's responsibility to remove the blue painted trees without significantly damaging the ones that we're trying to continue to grow. I feel very validated in the forestry rationale behind the project that we're doing. In the process of individually marking every tree for harvest, I have seen every tree and I have seen the average health and the average quality, and both due to reasons of excessive competition and then also some fungal issues that pines are dealing with pretty commonly these days. I think there's a very strong rationale behind harvesting the trees that we are. I'm trying to be as balanced as possible. This is a multi-use area. This is a commercial timber harvest, but it's intended to achieve a suite of objectives, not just generating income, but also improving wildlife habitat and protecting and maintaining the recreational trails through the area as well. So we're trying to do a lot of things all at once. So yeah, we have been very aggressive about making this as open and inviting as many people to take a look at and potentially place a bid on harvesting and selling timber. I personally invited 30 different loggers and or representatives from milling facilities, and there were other people that heard about it through there was an RFP posted on the town website. And then some of the milling facilities that I talked to had spoken to other loggers. And so, yeah, we had a public showing on the 28th where I brought a number of loggers around, took them on a big walk through the woods, tried to highlight all the things that we're trying to do out there. It's not just inviting these loggers, it's also calling them the day before the bid to remind them to show up, calling them in the days after the bid to make sure that everybody's on the same page about all the terms. There was a significant amount of time that I put into fostering this level of interest, but the quality of the trees and the amount of nice pine saw timber that we're cutting also kept the interest quite high. So yeah, when you are putting a lot out to bid like this, you are hoping you get a broad swath of interest and a number of bidders so that you can see the distribution of bids. And what you're really hoping to get is one bid that stands out from the others. And I think it's sort of unquestionable. You know, what I've done on the page that you guys got where it ranks all the bidders, there's still a number of assumptions that are built into bringing their price offer to a total offer. What the majority, everybody except for one logger bid on a pay as cut basis, which means that they cut the trees down, they shorten them to the log lengths, they bring them to the mill, and the mill pays them based upon the quality of the log. Select grade doesn't have knots. Number one has dead knots smaller than 1 inch in diameter. Number two has dead knots smaller than 2 inches in diameter. And then above, lower quality wood than that, we're getting paid well for, but it's not. The majority of the income that's coming from this harvest is the grade pine saw timber. So those three qualities. So some people would bid a straight through price where they say, I'll take the selects, the number ones and the number twos, I'll average the price. Just give you one number for what you're getting for your pine logs, whereas other loggers say, I'll pay you this for this grade, I'll pay you this for this grade, and I'll pay you this for this grade. And then some loggers take it one step further and say, we're gonna sell some of them to this mill and some of them to that mill. So these are numbers that are based on assumptions that I have to make to try to compare apples and oranges. But I feel without question that the highest bidder is the highest bidder, and that there's a pretty significant margin between the two of them. There is some differences between highest bidder and the second highest bidder. I think they're worthy of pointing out. So the highest bidder is J&M Logging of Augusta. They are two guys, Jim and Mark. That's the J and the M. They're owner operators. They do phenomenal work. I work with them regularly. I trust them. They pay on time. They're professional. I have no reason to reject their bid, and they have the highest bid. With that being said, the second highest bidder has some sort of special merits that I figured I would bring up to you all so that everybody was on the same page and that we could make a fair and balanced decision. So the second highest bidder is Andrews Timber Harvesting, Mark Andrews out of West Paris. And I would say the things that differentiate him from the first is that I think he's going to do this more slowly and more carefully. And I think he's going to do less damage to the trees that we're leaving behind and less damage to the soil that we're, operating on. And also he sells his wood to Hancock Lumber and would be selling it to the Pittsfield mill, whereas the highest bidder will be selling it to Hammond Lumber in Belgrade and then Irving Saw Timber in Pittsfield. So I think Mark Andrews does a really, really high quality job, probably a greater level of care for the trees and the soil that we're leaving behind. However, significantly lower bid than the top bidder. And then the top bidder also chips their tops and branches, which should leave kind of a nicer, neater forest left behind. And they've made offer, or they've told me that they would be willing to do some above and beyond extra stuff when the job is said and done to smooth out any soil that gets excessively disturbed. And everybody is obligated to protect the trails as best we can, the hiking trails through that area. So what I'm going to do is hang blue flagging on all the hiking trails so that the loggers, when they're working, know where the hiking trails are and know where they can't be leaving brush, down trees, things like that. When this job is done, the trails should be walkable. There's going to be some work that I'll take on to verifying and making sure that the loggers are careful about keeping the trails cleaned up. There's trail signs that I'm going to have to pull out and put back in. There is going to be impact on the trail. There's a couple locations where there's just no way around it. We have to go right down certain sections of the trails themselves.
Good.
So those are the considerations that, you know, all the balls I'm trying to keep up in the air. I posted signs on either side of the entrance to the hiking trail network that tell everybody what's going on, what the blue markings are, who they can call if they have questions or concerns. I think the only concern that we've heard so far from the public regards lady slippers, you know, the orchids that grow in certain spots in the woods and that are not rare, but some species are, and people like them, and we want to try to protect them. And it's been determined that the lady slippers in question are outside of the harvest area, and that we're not impacting them. But yeah, if there's anybody that knows who's maintaining that trail network, I would love to talk with them. I've reached out to Matt Huff, the Snowmobile Club, let him know what we're doing, let him know that, you know, we'll be done before the winter and that it will be all systems go. We're not going to be in the way of their snowmobiling. And yeah, we are going to be closing down the hiking trail while this is in progress, just for kind of obvious safety reasons.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else?
Yeah, unless if anybody knows who to talk to about the trail networks, I would love to be his.
I mean, Matt would be a good one to talk to.
Yeah.
Higgins built the kiosk there. That right before the.
Yep.
You know, Danny at all?
No.
Higgins Road, he built that kiosk, he might know some more about who maintains that,
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
I think it was a project by like the middle school
know?
or something originally.
Who does
Yeah.
it?
45 years I've been in and out of that woods. I can take you and show you everything.
Are you the one that maintains the trail
I
or?
do a lot of work in this.
Yep.
Yeah, all right,
Ronnie's the guy that's right here.
there you
That's
go.
the legend you need.
Perfect. I'd love to get your contact info and chat with you.
Thanks for all your work on this.
But yeah, thank
That's
you.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You're very
That's
welcome.
a lot of time put in, and that's pretty invaluable service, so thank you for all the efforts and keeping our best interests in mind all the time.
You're very welcome.
That's great.
This is
Nice to hear.
a good project.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nice to hear that you're in a happy spot there with some of those folks.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, both of the loggers would be able to start, you know, within 2 weeks. I think both of them would be eager to get started right off the bat.
Yeah.
Did J&M cut the length or
J&M is whole tree, so they're gonna be cutting the trees down with a feller buncher. Some of these trees have just massive limbs and you just can't drag them through the woods without destroying everything within 50 feet. So they're gonna do some extra work to delimb the trees with the cutting machine before they pull them through the woods. And certain trees, they're gonna shorten in half to make it easier, because some of these trees are like 100 feet tall, and it's very hard to pull 100-foot anything through the woods with some turns.
They're just gonna set up like chip stations where all the brush.
Everything is gonna get brought to the yarding area, the landing, which will be not the reuse center, but kind of along the road into the shooting range. Jack's already spoken with the police. Yeah.
They'll work around it.
Yeah, so we got no issues with them. And yeah, they will, a lot of those branches that they're gonna cut off in the woods, they'll be able to accumulate them as they delimb and place them in bundles and drag them out with the skidder and feed them through the chipper. So this will definitely be the least brushy woods left behind.
That's the J&M.
The J&M, yep, the high bidder. And yeah, it's just 2 guys. So typically this operation would have 3 or 4 people doing all that. They're owner operators, they own their equipment. They go a little bit more slowly than your average whole tree timber harvest, which I think is to our benefit. It's nice to get things done, but it's scary when you leave for work in the morning and then you come home and half the woodlot's done.
Right.
It's just, there's certain pace that I find to be too fast. And I think these guys really strike a nice balance.
The gentle footprint on this is pretty important,
Yep,
in my opinion.
yep. And I think, again, the second bidder has a gentler footprint. but the first bidder has such an excess, such a significant margin of difference that I think it's hard to go down the list.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent. We'll hopefully look forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah.
But this has been great. Much appreciated.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome.
And yeah, tonight, are we gonna we're gonna vote on who wins it so I can move
Right.
forward with contracts.
Right now.
Perfect.
Are there any questions from the audience regarding resolution 2637? Council, I assume people are on board with the high bid?
Not only because they're the high bid, just because.
Yeah, everything that was just explained, so. Everyone good? Would, Craig, do you wanna amend your resolution
Yeah.
2637?
To amend resolution 2637, to read, resolve the town council accept the bid from J&M Timber Harvesting, for timber harvesting on town farm lot, Peltoma Avenue. As stipulated in their bid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of resolution 2637 as amended by Craig, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Resolution 2637 passes and J&M Logging is the winning bid. Moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you very
Drive
much.
safe. Resolution 2638, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council accept the bid from Brent for 2026 road paving.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2638.
Second.
Moved and seconded. We got bids from
Perfect, thank you very much.
4 paving companies.
Shoot. Yeah, perfect.
Jack, you wanna speak to any of that?
Yep.
34.
We got bids from B&B Paving, who we used last year. I thought did a great job for us. Roundy Paving, and Hopkins Paving, and Pike. And you can see quite a difference between the high bid and the low bid. And just to kind of go put some perspective on all this, we didn't have a scope of work back in April when we put this out to bid. What we really wanted was unit pricing. Because we wanted just to see if the pricing was gonna be competitive or not. So the scope of work, we actually took 2 years worth of work. And we put it out there because we wanted to have enough different things so that we'd get price for light capital paving or binders, overlays, crack seal. We want to get pricing for everything. So with the scope of work that they bid on, and we put the caveat in there too, that we could reduce the scope as we may need to do, and that we would reduce the scope. And so we have an engineer's estimate for what that, theoretical 2 years worth of paving might cost. And it was over $900,000. So all of the bids came in lower than the engineer's estimate. And I just point that out because the low bid by B&B is significantly lower than the engineer's estimate. So really the 2 questions, and we'll probably have to amend this resolution, but the 2 questions are, which contractor that we select, and I would recommend the low bid or B&B. And then the second question will be is the scope of work that we approve, and we actually have a proposed scope of work. And the proposed scope of work is, what we looked at is, for the unit pricing that we got, would we be able to do everything in the 2026 paving plan? In other words, just do year 1 in the paving plan with the unit pricing that we have. The answer was yes, we could do everything in the plan with the pricing that we got. We could probably add a couple more overlays to that. We could pick a couple priority 2027s or whatever. But at the same time, we have Library Street, and Library Street is a little bit problematic because Library Street is a construction zone. And the project isn't gonna repave, the utility project isn't gonna fully repave Library Street. The utility project is gonna trench pave Library Street. And when you think about the opportunity that we have with paving budget and good unit pricing. And the fact that we can do almost all of our 2026 paving plan. I started looking at the ability for us to basically combine the trench paving in the project. With the funding that we have in our paving budget. To basically do a full width and depth paving of Library Street. And it still allows us to do most of the 2026 plan. All of the priority conditions of the 2026 plan. In other words, the worst road conditions in the 2026 plan, we'd have to defer a couple that the engineer recommends. But what I'm saying is that the unit pricing that we have and the budget that we have lets us just complete Library Street, and not just leave it for another year or two with trench paving, and then do all of the priority that we had for 2026. So I think we're in a very good position with the way these bids came in, and I think what it speaks to is that and we see it with utility projects, we see it with paving, that we tend to bid competitively because of our proximity to hot top plants and, our convenience for, where a lot of these contractors are coming from. And the engineer is out of Southern Maine, so they see kind of they see pricing all over the state, but, I think they were very pleasantly surprised, with what they got. In this pricing, so.
Okay. I'm surprised Summer Street's classified as good. And Cross Street. Drive down those, they're pretty bad, but guess. I don't know, what does crack seal amount to? Is that similar to what they did up in Birchwood last year?
No, the crack seal is what we did out in Heltoma. Crack seal.
Crack seal, have you? Okay,
It's just like the.
yeah, no, I
Crack
know,
filling.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's. Those two roads don't look like crack seal roads to me,
They
but
weren't, but half of Summer Street was done 2 years ago.
Summer Court was done,
It's like some.
Summer Court, but
Summer Street. And
Summer Street is not been,
Cross Street was done when we did Peltona too.
okay,
And Coastal Cross.
yeah, all right. As long as crack sealing will fix those, I guess. All right, I guess. Are you guys good with the suggested paving and going with a low bid of B&B paving? Given they were good to work with last year?
What was the cost savings for Dorothy and Highland? I didn't see that. Oh, wait a minute, no, I didn't see it, never mind. Oh, no, we're still doing Highland Street north of West Street. We're just not doing it south of West Street now.
Right.
I actually did a graphic that makes it easy to see what we're gonna do. Because it is easier to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
That helped a lot.
That helps, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, they're not doing it.
so the highest,
Yeah, not doing it.
the worst condition, part of 2026 was West Street, Oak, and Greeley. And so the best condition or in relation to that, the better condition is Dorothy and the end of Highland there. So it was not a concern to the engineer that if we were to break up 2026 that way for the sake of getting a basically a complete pave of Library Street, it wasn't gonna be any risk to, you know, what the treatment would be next year. It was not gonna give us a worse treatment on Dorothy and the other end of Highland next year to do it.
Yep. Makes sense to get a completed Library Street.
Yes, trench paving's a no fly for me.
Yeah, especially on that highly traveled road that wasn't good to begin with.
My neighbor laid his bike down because of it.
Yeah,
I
right,
lost
yeah,
it. I almost did.
yeah, you know how that, yeah,
Yeah, that didn't.
So- I think this makes good sense.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, Craig, do you wanna amend,
Yep.
resolution 2638? To accept the bid of B&B paving?
Yeah, so I'll amend resolution, I'd like to amend resolution 2638. Resolve the town council accept the bid from B&B paving, for 2026 road paving. With the amended paving schedule.
Scope of work, yeah.
Scope of work, yep.
Yep. Perfect. Any questions from the audience or the council regarding resolution 2638?
And just to point out, because it's the way it kind of had to work out is. Because we're gonna use the trench paving money on Library Street. I have to make Library Street a job that the contractor that was gonna trench pave paves. So that won't be a B&B street anymore. So B&B will get everything that's on this map. That'll be the B&B scope.
Okay,
And they still should be, you know, they knew that we were gonna come in with a smaller scope. But so you'll just be seeing the Sergeant paved trucks on Library Street doing a full street, and then you'll see B&B over there. Let's try to point that out.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor of resolution 2638 as amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2638 passes. Moving on to resolution 2639, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council adopt the proposed solid waste fee schedule for fiscal year 2026-2027.
Look for a motion from the council.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution 2639.
Moved and seconded. Jack, did you want to speak to this? We have the fee schedule
Yeah,
on page 37.
yeah, Donnie and I spent some time going over the fee schedule and really try to incorporate a lot of suggestions from our last meeting. We did do like a tiered increase on stickers. But left it the same for 65 and older, remain $30, but under 65 would go up to 40. And we put some more limitations on asphalt shingles. Basically, we're only accepting 1 cubic yard or less of asphalt shingles. That would be what we consider a residential quantity. Larger loads are gonna be considered commercial quantities. And so there's just really trying to think hard about, you know, where, you know, what we're set up for, what we're trying to accomplish with, you know, charging the commercial, the loads, you know, and less on the residential side. We do reduce the 8 free tires a year to 4 free tires a year. And then we increase the cost of tires, depending on their size. So that, you know, could end up depending on, you know, how many of the larger tires we get, end up being significant.
What was the total impact to these changes versus what we had a couple weeks ago?
what we were doing was kind of going the other way. We needed to make sure we presented at least $14,000 in revenue, and we think we have that just between the stickers and the tires. You know,
Okay.
but I don't wanna try to go too far on a limb
Yeah.
to say it might be a $20,000 or $25,000 revenue source. But with everything that we were doing at the last meeting to say that we were gonna reduce some of the demolition debris, and we
Right.
cut the demolition debris budget, and then we were going to, we ended up with about $24,000 total, I think, that we needed to come from here, and I think the stickers were, more than half of that. So everything, I think we had the rest of this to make a,
Low estimate, we should 30,000, low estimate.
And we needed-
Taken away.
and we needed 24.
Right.
Negative 24, so it's gonna give us 30, okay, so that maintains the integrity of what we're looking for, yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Mhm.
I mean, by the way, I still kind of don't know if I would do any free tires, but other than that, that's kind of my,
Like, that's what I was thinking too, cause I don't even know how you would track that. You know, remember when I come in?
Get a bracelet. Actually, get a bracelet.
Did you present the punch?
oh, there you go.
These guys
Now, I'm
are,
gonna punch a hole in your sticker, or I'm gonna knock the sticker.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
There you go.
That way it's.
well, it's a bit sensible, right? I
Yeah.
mean, cause you already have to print the sticker, so what's it actually gonna cost to put 4 bullets down in the corner, 1 through 4?
Right.
And if you don't punch it, you can't dump it.
Right.
And if you punched out, you're done, right? So I mean, it's perfectly sensible, really. And that keeps it transparent. and all
What if
that
it's
stuff.
attached to my
I
window?
was just getting ready to say that, but I stuck it to the window.
You like that?
Punch out.
I do like that.
Oh, they do?
It's not bad.
It doesn't really cost anything. What's it,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
You just peel it off the windshield.
It's like inspections, when they cut up, they have them for the.
There we go. Look at us go.
Get your knife out, one of
That's great.
the notches in it,
Yeah.
like you do on your rifle when you shoot a deer.
All right.
I like it.
Yep. Yeah.
We got,
All those in favor of resolution, are there any questions from the audience? No. Any questions?
Prod
from
you
us?
along, but let's go.
Yeah. Resolution, all those in favor of resolution 2639, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Resolution 2639 passes, and I appreciate you guys' ability to adjust that accordingly.
so this all starts August 1st, right?
Yep.
Perfect, I got any tires, I think that's.
Except for
Council style.
except for the stickers don't, take place until January.
That's right.
Nicole, resolution 2640.
So that the town council take further action pertaining to dangerous building at 331 Somerset Avenue.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2640.
Moved and seconded. Jack, you wanna speak on this? We got the report from Plymouth Engineering, and the report basically, well, you can speak to it, I guess.
Yeah, the report really documents pretty well the deteriorated conditions of that building and the need for that building to be either completely rebuilt, practically from scratch, or just removed. But as it stands, it was confirmed to be dangerous and recommended for removal. And so with that, I would also recommend that we move forward along those lines, and would be just a matter of taking the next steps if that's where we wanna go.
Yep. Yeah, that's their recommendation, is to condemn and remove. Unless a new owner with significant funding is found. You guys have any issues with that recommendation?
What would our timeline be?
What I would do is just give a 30-day notice for any personal belongings to be removed.
Okay.
And then we would proceed.
Send for bid and all of that, that would be the next process, send with a belt on.
I guess the other question is, we had like, what, 10 bidders on the last one? Would it be appropriate to go to the low bidder and see if that's a job they could schedule. And if not, go to the next low bidder and just use the list that we just did, or do we wanna just do it again?
I think with some stipulation to that, because I think that that's gonna present a little bit of problem for us.
Okay.
In terms of cleanup and from being in the construction industry, I think that might present some issues.
That and. If I was not the low bidder and I saw what the bids came in at, I might adjust my pricing accordingly.
Yeah.
And it's a different situation, different building.
So just put it on.
I'd put it out to bid.
Yeah, because we have. 30 days.
And I would, to Mike's point, you know. There's grass that's as tall as I am, there's,
Plus the stream, I think
yeah,
there's some more
all
logistics.
that stuff should be cleaned up accordingly.
Yeah, I think we have to be very delicate about the scope of work on that particular building, so we don't get into any stream issues and all of that.
Right,
I just dealt with all of that, so.
but yeah, I'd go out to bid at, you know, the next meeting, we could put out an RFP.
I mean, I
And
guess,
the 30-day notice wouldn't be up until that, after that anyway.
my only concern is if a guy did the first project low. And then he wants to work, so he bids it low, 9 times out of 10, the work that you get's gonna be low.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
so that'd be my concern now, if a guy's gonna be, if he gives you a fair bid on the first one, and you go back to him, you know what I'm saying? You already know he's giving you a bid because that's what he feels is a fair value for his work. He's not adjusting based off of somebody else's bid. So I almost would be more in favor of what Jack suggested, but I understand it, but.
and it's a different like it does pose much different
Yeah,
scenario than these random.
Or the
some of these guys,
stream or drainage.
well, it's
The stream is-
technically drained, but.
Well, it's Farnham, it goes into Farnham Brook,
It's
doesn't
not a stream.
No
I've
trout.
been through this 500 times in the last.
Doesn't it
6
go
months.
into
It's not a
Farnham
stream.
Brook?
You have no trout
That
there?
goes down
It's
the side
seasonal.
of the road, right?
Yeah, it goes into Farnham Brook, I'm pretty sure, so.
Oh, does it?
Well, because there's a basin, it's not technically a stream, but, so I think
Yeah.
that some of these guys though won't even bid on, is what's gonna happen. Because it's a bigger structure, excuse me, there's a lot more logistics to it, there is a stream next door, or whatever you wanna call it, the foundational issues and all these other things. I think you're gonna find 5 of those 10 are gonna drop out.
Mhm.
So I agree, like, you know, that's a good approach, with the exception of, I think some of these guys might be irritated because they didn't get to work the first time.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a little bit more of a
So
delta.
that's 30 days or so then, right, basically?
But it really doesn't, because we have to wait 30 days and,
Yeah,
Oh, it does, you gotta, well, it's gonna delay itself.
oh, yeah, and we're moving.
What I can ask for in the bid too is just for them to tell us what they plan to do to mitigate any stream or water impacts or anything like that. So they at least have to tell us the steps they're gonna take, erosion control, I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
Because, you know, that'll be part of it. If there's two really close prices and somebody takes the time to lay out a plan that we feel comfortable with, that could be the deciding factor.
I think that's gonna take a bigger play, and I think a lot of that was just redone over there. Adding to the delicates of what's happening in the foundation wall, leaning to the, you know, to that side and all of those things. I think in all fairness, I think that's the better approach.
So do we have to amend this then to just further action cover going out for the RFP, or do we have to amend it to add?
I think you should amend it and say
Okay.
what our next step is.
All right, perfect. All right, so.
And you can move forward with the RFP.
So I would add that in the amendment, so I would amend
Right.
it to declare this dangerous building. And
Condemn, remove, yeah.
condemn, yep, move to condemn and. Go out, authorize Jack to go out to RFP, right, so.
And then we accept the bid at the next meeting. Perfect, let's do that.
All right, so I'd like to amend resolution 2640 to reflect further action containing except the recommendation to declare it a dangerous building, move to condemn the building and send the proper notification, and go out for RFP for demolition and removal.
Second.
All those in favor of resolution 2640 as amended by Craig, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2640 passes as amended. Moving on to resolution 2641, Nicole.
So that the town council authorize the town manager in consultation with Public Works Director to purchase a single axle plow truck consistent with the specifications developed for the truck. And after inspection by the Public Works Director or his designee for an amount not to exceed blank.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2641.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Yeah, this is just to make it so that Public Works can move quickly to get a truck if it becomes available.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, the concern is that some of these are, go up and then they're gone before we can really do much and. We've drawn up a spec on what we're looking for. And we have a budget for it and.
And what is that budget? Cause that's the not to exceed, right?
So the budget is assuming that we get the loader for the 70,000, that leaves us. 155 we could put towards a single axle, and I think the price is still good on the, buying a loader. And he was holding it for us.
Yeah,
So 155 on the truck.
155.
is the not to exceed.
Mhm.
But, yeah, okay.
So I'm gonna amend that to, like to amend resolution 2641 to reflect amount not to exceed 155,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor of resolution 2641 as amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2641 passes. Moving on to resolution 2642, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council authorize the town manager to hire independent reviews and execute all paperwork for airport grants for fiscal year 2026 through 2027 as necessary in accordance with the town's bid policy, Federal Aviation Administration regulations, and Maine Department of Transportation regulations.
Look for a motion from the council.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2642.
Second.
Moved and seconded. This is just standard stuff every year.
Every year.
Yep.
Yeah, so I can make sure that all the grant stuff is submitted and closed over in time and.
Any questions from the audience or the council regarding resolution 2642? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2642, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2642 passes. You'll just want to note that Eric wasn't in the room for that. Moving on to resolution 2643, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council designate certain year-end account balances as reserve funds for the fiscal year 2026-2027.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion we adopt resolution 26-43.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Jack, just
Yeah, so this
Moving
is
those.
making sure that the funds that we're trying to earmark reserve. Into a reserve account are flagged and identified and actually. That actually happens. And we've got a table, I think I put together.
table on page 48. We don't have to necessarily read through them,
Yeah.
but there's the comprehensive plan,
Right.
sewer capital projects, water projects,
We
payroll liabilities.
yeah,
And
things that we wanna hold in reserve and just have available to us in the next fiscal year. And the first one on the list was the appropriating the revenue that we collected from the sale of property this year, putting it towards the capital.
Yeah.
Next year, that's just kind of what that looks like, just to,
Sure.
so.
Excellent. Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the council regarding 2643? Hearing none, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2643, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2643 passes. Moving on to resolution 2644, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council appoint members to a hiring committee for the position of chief of police.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2644.
Second.
Moved and seconded. So we obviously need to put together a committee to hire the police, the chief of police. Previously, it's always, the town manager, which would be Jack. I'm on the police committee and, I would be fine with serving on that committee, if that's okay. I think it would be beneficial to have somebody from law enforcement to be on that, and I reached out to Mark Brooks, who is retired state police and has a resume that would be beneficial for us in this process. So I think having him on that committee would be great. And then obviously anybody, I was thinking it would be 2 counselors, but that doesn't, we could go more if we needed to, but
I'm happy to do that.
and I know Natalia would like to do that too, so. Do you see any issue with there being 3 counselors involved? I mean, there might be a day where we all can't make it anyway.
Yep.
I know that's a busy man, so. Is that
No, that'd be fine.
fine?
You could do, yeah, 3 and the person from law enforcement and myself.
Yeah, and it's good to have an odd number anyway.
Yeah.
That's 5. I mean, that's a good committee size, 5 people.
Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Pete, you good? Okay, can you amend that to appoint those folks, please?
So amend resolution 2644 to include Jack Kluge, Jason Hall, Mark Brooks. Natalia Hall and Mike.
Cool.
Mike, yep, Mike Goldman. I had it.
Yeah, I was helping you.
Oh,
You're good, bud.
I've amended it.
A lot of
every
amendments,
resolution
yeah.
so far tonight.
That's true.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Yes, you're doing great.
Way rolling.
That's right. Well, yeah, I had your nickname coming out, so I stopped myself. Mike Golden to the chief of police council committee.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or concerns from the audience? Council, since we're ready to vote, all those in favor of resolution 2644 as amended, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2644 passes. Moving on to resolution 2645, Nicole.
Resolved that the town council named blank as the recipient of the 2026 Spirit of America Award for the town of Pittsfield.
Look for a motion from the council.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution 2645. Second.
Moved and seconded. This is a thing we do every year. We nominate people that, people or groups, that we think represents the Spirit of America Award. Do you have any suggestions, anybody? I think
We have our prior list.
I think that's gone by the wayside quite a while ago, but I'm not sure.
Mr. Mayor, could I make that,
Yeah, sure.
has Paul Berkshire received it yet?
Yeah, I think he has.
He has.
I'm quite sure. I would think he has.
Probably should verify that. Yes or no? I think he answered.
I don't know off the top of my head.
What did you say?
Paul Berkshire. I don't know off the top of my head.
It'd be a good one if he hasn't.
He would be. The other group we were thinking of was the summer concert series, since they passed their 10-year anniversary, but it. I don't know how I can't verify.
Yeah, if that's a particular anniversary, then maybe that's a more timely thing. Versus, like the 11th year anniversary really doesn't mean much. It
Doesn't do anything.
doesn't ring the bell, right?
They've done it, they've done it for years. They're into their 11th now.
Right. So completing the 10th, right, that would be kind of the timely.
I mean, I think Paul is a excellent candidate.
Yeah.
He certainly does a lot around town with a lot of different things, but I don't necessarily know if he's ever been.
Could we put him at the top of the list for next year? Is that a possibility, and do this where it's a timely event? anything? No.
You can make your 2027 nomination, because
Make our list now
Yeah.
that Pete wanted.
We've had a list in the past.
We had, yes, we did. I
A
don't,
lot of people are gone
Yeah.
that are, like, if we.
Posthumous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Can anybody nominate anybody?
yeah,
Can I, Mr. Mayor? Can I nominate the police chief? Or all
No.
for,
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Yeah, you can.
for the community, I think he should be recognized for bringing the community back together and through community policing and as a proper goodbye to him. He did a lot for the town to bring it back together.
Sure,
You're true.
it is true. Yeah, I don't know, I guess we can vote on those three options if you'd like. All those, you should raise,
Do we want to have a discussion before we go to the straw poll? Is it?
Yeah.
Leaning one way or the other, or?
I mean, I would go with Paul if I knew he wasn't selected before, but that's just my opinion.
Is it published anywhere?
Don't tell what.
That's why I'm wondering, I shouldn't do group and.
It's hard. Fine, detailed stuff. I know there was when the when the pool was done.
Yeah,
And
no,
that's what I was kind of wondering, because like the pool came back from, and that's the time frame I'm thinking, but
right,
we didn't.
I wasn't sure.
We didn't do it every.
Public Pittsfield Town Councilor Kurt Show, Paul Bertrand was Spirit of America recipient in 2020.
okay,
I was gonna say, I couldn't imagine they would.
good suggestion, but, okay. Well, then, given the timely, I am for the concert series, but
I go with
it's up to you guys.
We do that.
Yeah. All right, you good with that, Pete? Concert series? All right,
Like to
amended again,
resolution. 2645, to reflect the Pittsfield Town Concert Series, as the recipient of the 2026 Spirit of America Award.
Second.
Yep, all those in favor of resolution 2645 as amended and naming the Pittsfield Concert Series as the 2026 Spirit of America Award, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed to nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2645 passes as amended.
With a nice little round we did with the eyes.
Right. Yeah. It's the most Monday, Tuesday I've ever had. Resolution 2646. Nicole,
Resolve that the town council nominate blank for the Maine Municipal Association Executive Committee.
for a motion for the council.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution 2646.
and.
I need a second.
Second.
Thank you.
Third.
Nope, all good. I don't even know what this is, Jack.
And so the Maine Municipal Association has a slate of nominees for the executive committee, which is the governing board of the Maine Municipal Association. And
Nominees for MMA vice president. Only. No.
And so this would be if we want to petition to nominate anyone else that's not on this list. So I would have nobody to recommend that we nominate to, in addition to these people, and so we'll get a ballot. And then we'll be able to vote a ballot for the slate of officers, assuming there are no other nominees from sort of from the floor. This would be like nominees from the floor to be added to this ballot, so I wouldn't have anybody else to recommend.
So do we not nominate anybody?
So you wouldn't take any action.
So we just table it or?
Resolve no action, right?
You,
Is this
Yeah.
where we're supposed to nominate you?
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Stop beating around the bush, Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
Want to nominate for this?
No, I don't. No.
You don't, okay, good.
So I would amend this to say, resolve that the town council take no action
on resolution
on
20.
resolution 2646.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all those in favor of taking no action on resolution 2646, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, resolution 2646 is no action. Although we took action.
You know,
Resolution 2647, Nicole.
Resolve the town council will adopt the following regular meeting schedule for the town council for the remainder of 2026. July 14th, August 4th, September 1st, October 6th, November 17th, December 15th. With special meetings to be scheduled as may be needed.
Look for a motion from the council.
make a motion, we adopt resolution 2647.
Second.
Moved and seconded. So Jack put together the remaining schedule for 2026. You can see it jumps around a little bit, but Jack's got a lot of trainings and meetings and certain things coming. So that's why the schedule isn't as, the first Tuesday of every month or the third Tuesday of every month.
And
So it kind of jumps around a little
it
bit.
does jump around a little. In September, though, we have a special referendum, the school will be
That's
the
right,
special
yeah.
referendum, which would fall on the third Tuesday. So, I'm backing away from that and getting our meeting in on the first Tuesday there. In August and October, I've got some trainings that help me if we can push them up to be the first Tuesdays. So it's just trying to find the most workable dates, at least from elections and some of the things that I can see that are going on.
So throw those in your calendars, because if you're like me, you won't remember when the heck we have a meeting. Any questions or concerns from the audience or the council?
Can I ask a question that's tangentially related to this?
I guess.
That's just the July meeting, July 14th. That'll be our next meeting. And we just talked about the equipment that we're gonna purchase once we get past July 1st. And one of them is the loader that we got a quote on in April that I think is being held for us since April. Does the council want to see that on the July agenda, or once we get to July 1st in the new year? Can we move forward on the loader that we've?
Give them all. Don't forget the cemetery. I got a letter to hold the mower at the price.
Yeah, the cemetery mower, cemetery mower as well. We've had a cemetery mower on hold. Also for
It's a considerable price.
Is there,
It's like a $2,000 decrease in price.
so is there a way that we can do a resolution that gives you guys permission to purchase these pieces of equipment within the parameters that within the budget?
So we're not requiring bids on this, right? So we don't have. to
Well, so I think that-
RFP.
if we wanna proceed with the quote that we had during the budget and for the machine that's been held for us, then we wouldn't bid the loader.
And we want to bid the mower.
Can't we just use the approval of the budget to, we're spending inside the budget.
Well, so the cemetery mower would be actually within it'd be low enough, it's a low enough price to be within my authority anyway. Obviously the loader I would bring to you, but because we've talked about it and we've baked it in the budget and we've had the benefit of it not already being sold on us. I just, if that's everybody's consensus.
I just would think with the approval of moving the funds to reserve, right? The reserve funds over to the reserve accounts and the approval of the budget, we kind of have approval for purchase up to that price, right?
Yeah, it's just not the standard operating procedure. We would do it like we just did the plow truck is how we would typically do it.
And,
We'd have a resolution to say not to exceed $70,000 for the purchase of a
But how do we do
loader.
that? How do we do that in this meeting?
I think you can do it, can't you, with a amendment,
I think what we could.
we have done this in the past.
The way we did it before was when Annalise was here and we had to commit to doing the utility coordination. And we didn't really have a resolution to work with. We said that we gets the consensus to move forward and do it a certain way, but then the next meeting, we'd present a resolution that's basically an after the fact approval, so it's documented that,
Okay,
that it actually.
that's
did
fine.
come. So
So why wouldn't we do that, just to put it to bed, so we're not losing an opportunity, right?
we will,
Absolutely, let's go.
right? You good with that?
We're gonna buy it anyway, so.
Yeah. Right,
Probably
and
already.
we don't want it sold from us, so there we go.
And
So-
that was for 2 machines, that was the loader, and what did you say?
No, that's
No,
The cemetery mauler, that's,
cemetery mill.
the
That's what
cemetery
it is,
mauler, that's,
I budgeted 8,000 in the.
and that's within his authority
Coming
anyway.
in significantly.
coming in at like what, 55 or something like that.
Yeah, 58, something like that, yeah, so,
For the mower,
yes,
and that's a new machine?
right.
Okay.
That's why I said we secured price and I wrote a letter of intent that we're gonna purchase that.
They wanted to, I think they want to sell that many times over since we told them we wanted it.
That's interesting.
All right, resolution, everybody in favor of resolution 2647? Please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Resolution 2647 passes. Moving on to discussion items, any public comments tonight?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, what do you got?
So, I just, as a resident, and also as a department head, but as a resident, we've been talking about, did a lot of thinking, but I've had a lot of people approach me at the transfer station, other places about increasing fees. I'm not a real big fan of increasing fees when the taxes increase either, but we've got to make a significant balance. One of the things that hit home for me was, Pete said at the last meeting, you know, everybody uses a transfer station, we can hit something hard, and then not everybody uses the airport. One of the things I want to throw out there is, we just went through this whole process, opening the pool, closing the pool, and I'm watching the price of chemicals. And I see today that they advertised that it's $1 a day, $2 for out of town, $10 for season, and $20 for out of town. I think that's a pretty, you can't take one kid to the water park for one day from $10. So just something to think about, because when you guys see the scope of the stuff that we're doing to open and close the pool, you know, it's a pretty substantial fee. You got
Right.
5 lifeguards, the chemicals and the time. You know, I send a kid down there, I don't mind paying 25 as a resident of Pittsfield, because if they're open for 42 days, I mean, that's cheap.
I think I paid 25, that was bad.
Well, the reality is, what's the slide? I mean, so who's paying for what? That's the reality, right? It's no different than the stickers.
Right, and I just think that people who use that, and if they've got their kids down there, and they go down there 35 days during the year, and they're paying $10, that's pretty cheap babysitter.
Good point.
But at the same time, it's getting used, so I mean, what's the?
Yeah, and
what's the
you
balance?
wanna get used, right, again, you're looking at prices of chemicals and cleaning, and, you know, it's a big expense, and I know that if I'm going out looking for it, I'll go down and pay the $10, but I'm not gonna bark at $25, cause I know I'm gonna get good use out of the pool, and it's keeping up with current pricing.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a fair argument, but I also think it's a little bit delicate to try and ask people to pay a lot, too much, right? Maybe halfway.
Well, what's more important, we've got a place to go swim or sanitation, you know what I mean, and then again.
I think it probably depends who you ask, but
Yeah,
And how they,
It's important that the kids aren't sitting. home.
kids in,
That's what
I
I
understand,
right?
we want to encourage. Yeah, kids and families to,
Hey, you wanna get them out, right?
right,
That's the.
but it's a
Fair
valid point.
point.
and I'm just putting that thought process in, because there's, you know, we're increasing everything else, and everybody else is crabbing, and I'm on the front line, so I see it on both sides, so I'm the face, you guys are not the face, they come up and ask questions, and they're saying, well, how come if I can have 5 kids go to the pool every day for $10, but now you want $50 out of me every time I come to the transfer station?
Well, tell them to come talk to the council and we'll talk to them.
Just,
That's good feedback. I like
yeah,
it.
it is good feedback.
yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Thank you.
yeah. It's good, thank you, Don. Pete?
No.
Oh, Greg,
Congrats to the Spirit of America recipients and, you know, amazing job of this council this year on this budget. That was not easy, and great job to Jack. Cause he really kind of showed us what, financial gymnastics looks like this year. And, did a great job with it, so. And, deep diving and finding a lot of that money. Untapped resources, right? So thank you to each and every one of you. And the department heads for putting together good budgets. That was actually made it a lot easier this year, so thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Mike?
I only have one quick question that was pertaining to the Pelhoma Trail. That's okay. Do we know what the assessment is on that for sale or what the forward process is gonna be?
So the next step is for me just to tally up what we have costs on that. And then we will need to, just go through the procedures that statute requires to sell tax acquired property. And then, there'll probably be, I'm thinking we'll probably do a couple of them together, 2 or 3 of those together. Because part of the process is to try to line up a realtor that'll handle those. And then, we have to, try to approach market value of what's there, what's being sold, which is the lot, so we would, come up with that with a realtor. And so, yeah, those are some of the next steps. It'd be good to try to get a few of those out there and through the process this calendar year, I think, if we can.
I happened to notice there was still a small pile of debris down there pushed up off to the side. I didn't know whose responsibility that was. Do you see that?
Yeah, we'll get 5 minutes. Give 5 minutes, I know it's there, it's just some pieces.
No, I just didn't know if it was from the tear down or what it was.
Yeah, it was, the stuff that was pulled out of the woods there, I think.
Oh,
People got rambunctious and pulled some stuff.
Yeah, you got-
Behind over the bag.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was.
It's on the radar for,
I didn't know if it was something they left behind. So. Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Eric?
Yeah, just good job with the council and the department heads, and Jack on the budget. I don't think it wasn't an easy year, but I think it was necessary. Kind of recalibrate ourselves and say what's okay and what's not okay, and where we wanna be in 10 years, and try to have a vision going forward, and. I like where we're headed, I like that we ask hard questions and we have hard conversations and not have a whole lot of hard feelings, so. I think a lot of just bring some good chatter, hopefully we can keep doing it year after year, so. And I agree with you on the pay to play, I'm a big advocate of that, I mean, I think it really protects. The older population of our town by doing that, and it really. If you're using it, you're paying to use it, I like that model, and I think if there's situations where people can't afford, or I think there should be. Exceptions to every single rule, right, there should be scholarships for kids that can't afford it, or a certain threshold, or however you wanna govern that, but. I like that idea in general, a lot of ways. So, good job by Forster, that was good work.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That was professional work.
Awesome, thank you, Eric. And yeah, I'll just say the same thing everybody else has said, just a challenging budget year. But I think the council and Jack and department heads did a excellent job to be fiscally responsible, keep things as flat as possible, but still move forward with things that are needed and necessary to move ahead, so. I like the fact that we put some plans in place and we're acting on the plans and. Making up for lost time is never easy, but I think we're going in the right direction, so. Appreciate everybody's help and. Guess that is it for that, we do have an executive session, it's gonna be very quick. But I guess. We need to enter into executive session. Look for a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to MRSA Title I. State statute 4056A for the town manager's review.
Made a motion that we enter executive session.
Second. Moved and seconded.
Alright, on that.
Yeah. All those in favor of entering executive session, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. We are now